Welcome to the Samurai channel. We are all students who have been active for the past 3 years through social networking, street speeches, and signature campaigns. The channel is made up of teenagers and is made up of culturally diverse high school students, including Japanese, half European, and those who have studied abroad. The corruption of politicians in Japan today is glaringly obvious. The adults need to wake up and express their opinions clearly. But even if they realize, more than 70 years of misguided history may prevent decisive action. It is we, the youth, who are in this predicament. That is why we must learn together, speak out and take action, remember who is telling lies, remember why is false history being taught, remember who are the traitors. Remember understand what individuals and nations have done to our country. Let us know if there are any mistakes. We are ordinary high school students, but our leaders have been aware of Japan's shadow since junior high school and have taken action. Mission: Let's protect Japan, let's be proud of Japan. Support us. Arigatou gozaimasu. Here are the topics we chose this week. Number 1. NHK Red and White, demanding aespa's red and white appearance be cancelled. A movement demanding the cancellation of K-pop group aespa's first appearance on NHK's Red and White Song Festival is spreading among some people. The trigger was a photo of a mushroom cloud-shaped lamp posted on SNS in 2022 by Chinese member Ningning, which has reignited criticism for evoking the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. On the online petition site change.org, a campaign titled "Demanding aespa's Red and White Appearance Be Cancelled" has been launched, gathering over 80,000 signatures as of November 20th. Meanwhile, NHK has confirmed the agency's explanation that there was no such intent and is maintaining its stance on allowing the appearance. Is there really a need to deliberately invite people like this to a traditional program? Number 2. Fees 5x higher, nationality registration mandatory, life imprisonment. Redrawing the line in 2025. While a report emerged about a former Filipino mayor sentenced to life imprisonment on espionage charges as a Chinese national, responses to the influx of foreigners are accelerating in Japan, with the government advancing legislative amendments to raise the residence qualification renewal fee to the 30,000 yen range, 5 times the current amount. At the same time, the Ministry of Land, Infrastructure, Transport and Tourism has indicated a policy to mandate nationality entry in real estate registrations, aiming to grasp the reality of apartment acquisitions by foreigners and properly address price surges. Summary: the era where common sense measures become possible is finally coming into view in Japan too. Number 3. Funkatsu Saishin. On November 14, 2025, China's Ministry of National Defense posted a criticism of the Japanese government's Taiwan support on X, formerly Twitter, using the 4-character idiom, Funkatsu Saishin. The Chinese side intended the meaning of the Chinese, Finshin Sugu, a threat implying, body shattered to pieces, but in Japanese, it means, crushing bones and pulverizing flesh to devote oneself fully, a positive connotation of utmost effort. This misuse was immediately pointed out, and it spread online as a hilarious blunder in wolf warrior diplomacy. The hashtag China Defense Ministry misuse trended, with voices satirizing the importance of Japanese language education. Number 4. Toyonaka City Citizen Voting Ordinance. Toyonaka City, on November 20, 2025, deliberated an amendment bill to its citizen voting ordinance in the City Council, where discussions heated up over restrictions on foreign residents' voting rights. The ordinance, enacted in 2009, sets voting eligibility for anyone 18 or older who has resided for 3 months or more regardless of nationality, serving as a pioneering example of multicultural coexistence. However, in light of the recent Musashino City rejection incident, a proposal to impose restrictions limited to foreigners was put forward. On the other hand, LDP City Councillor Koji Nakano expressed opposition, arguing that it undermines the assurance of foreign residents' rights and inclusive democracy. I clearly want to oppose policies that give voting rights to foreigners after just 3 months while neglecting Japanese citizens. Number 5. Cheering for Kobayashi Pharmaceutical. Amid the Kobayashi Pharmaceutical red yeast rice supplement issue, voices are spreading among the public saying, "Let's support Kobayashi Pharmaceutical," and "The Ministry of Health, Labor, and Welfare is the worst. They're trying to destroy a Japanese company." The origin was after health damage came to light in March 2024, when the MHLW instructed voluntary recalls and pointed out the lack of GMP certification in its response. Some are spreading conspiracy theories on X, claiming excessive regulations are cornering the company, destroying jobs and the economy. Number 6. Foreign crime up 20%, the ripple effect, Saitama serial thefts shatter family peace. In Saitama Prefecture, residents' anger is on the verge of exploding over the rampant serial theft incidents. Since October, mainly in Komagaya and Kuki cities, occupied homes have been targeted one after another, with up to 8 houses hit in a single night. At least 55 cases, more than 100 in total, of despicable crimes have occurred. As a typical example of foreign national crime that has been increasing in recent years, it is sounding an alarm for society as a whole. According to National Police Agency statistics, the number of foreign nationals arrested for penal code offenses in 2024 reached 15,541, a 20% increase over the previous year, with organized crimes such as theft standing out. Thorough crackdowns on the perpetrators and strengthened control of foreign inflows are urgently needed. We sincerely hope for early arrests and measures to prevent recurrence. Number 7. Ito Mayor Takubo challenges a comeback election, just like Governor Saito's return. The common point between Ito City Mayor Maki Takubo and Hyogo Prefecture Governor Motohiko Saito is that both were caught up in scandals, faced the crisis of losing their positions, yet displayed steel mentality and ran in comeback elections. Mayor Takubo received a no-confidence vote from the City Assembly over suspected academic credential fraud and lost her position on October 31st, but she has declared her candidacy in the December 14th mayoral election, apologizing for the chaos during her tenure while appealing for reform. Governor Saito lost his position in September due to mishandling of power harassment accusations but was re-elected in the November comeback election. Number 8. The public is furious at the bashing of Prime Minister Takaichi. UN illegal remarks and China's history of honey trap coercion. State-run Xinhua smeared Prime Minister Sanai Takaichi's diet answer on a Taiwan contingency as revival of militarism and posted on X a satirical cartoon depicting the Prime Minister in military uniform, which spread domestically and internationally. On November 18, 2025, UN Ambassador Fu Tsung publicly denounced at the General Assembly that Japan has no qualifications to become a permanent member of the Security Council, which is highly likely to violate Article 2, Paragraph 4 of the UN Charter, Principle of Non-Use of Force. There were also scenes of honey trap coercion of politicians with threats like, "We will expose you." By all means, please tell us one by one every Japanese politician who has fallen into a Chinese honey trap. This is what the Japanese people want. Number 9. Ibaraki Nationality Clause abolition, the public is furious. Counterattack with opposition signatures. Ibaraki Governor Kazuhiko Oigawa announced a policy to abolish the nationality clause for administrative positions starting in fiscal 2026, allowing foreigners to take civil service employment exams, and the public's anger is on the verge of exploding. While it is promoted as utilization of foreign human resources as a countermeasure to population decline, this is an outrageous act that threatens national security and a foolish policy that ignores the risk of administrative confidential information leaking to foreign powers. Civil servants are public servants supported by the taxes of Japanese citizens, and the job should be a sanctuary that only Japanese nationals can undertake. How dare they sell it off under the name of globalization? This wave of abolishing nationality clauses is linked to the increase in foreign crime, 15,541 arrests in 2024, up 20% from the previous year, and risks becoming a breeding ground for organized crime like the Saitama serial thefts, fundamentally destroying residents' peace. The media beautifies it as promoting diversity and suppresses opposing voices with biased reporting that labels them xenophobic. In reality, the opposition signature campaign that moved from change.org to the Voice site has already exceeded several thousand signatures, and the alarm bell of the Japanese people is ringing loudly. Number 10. Fake video of Prime Minister Takaichi dismantling NHK, the public fights back. A video claiming Prime Minister Sanai Takaichi declared she would dismantle NHK has turned out to be a fake. However, the eyes of the Japanese people are gradually opening. Voices demanding the essential reform of dismantling the enormous evil that is NHK are rising higher and higher. Not just NHK, the mass media are garbage. They only report lies and try to manipulate the public. Many citizens hope that the steel will Takaichi showed when, as Minister of Internal Affairs and Communications, she drove a hard line against NHK will definitely lead to legislative reform. Prime Minister Takaichi, we are counting on you.
This week's Can You Shut Up Please? Separate surnames for married couples are not needed. Constitutional Democratic Party, Japanese Communist Party, Ayaka Shiomura is finished. This week's target is Constitutional Democratic Party Senator Ayaka Shiomura, who is once again drawing massive public outrage and ridicule for her aggressive push for selective separate surnames for married couples. On November 20, 2025, during a House of Councilors Cabinet Committee session, Shiomura emphatically declared, "Selective separate surnames are the global standard. Japan is the only country that forcibly mandates the same surnames for married couples. We must not fall any further behind the rest of the world." However, this is nothing less than a dangerous attempt to dismantle Japan's family register Koseki system. The family register is a unique Japanese institution that symbolizes family bonds and forms the very foundation of the nation. Introducing selective separate surnames will inevitably lead to children having different surnames from their parents, cause administrative chaos, and open the door to the infiltration of foreign culture practice. The Constitutional Democratic Party and their allies in the Japanese Communist Party are making a noisy push to imitate the separate surnames custom of China and the Korean Peninsula, effectively trying to destroy Japan's traditional family structure in what can only be described as a treasonous nation-selling agenda. Using her own unregistered de facto marriage as a shield, Shiomura frames this as a countermeasure against the declining birth rate, which has provoked an explosion of anger online. She's spouting nonsense again. Textbook trader. Another brain dead take from the usual suspect. While biased media outlets continue to fan the flames, we must protect Japan's cultural pride with all our might and defend the family register system to the death. Ayaka Shiomura, for the love of this country, can you please just shut up?
This is the textbook. GHQ, United States, publicly imposed speech censorship and pushed Japan into a surveillance society. Until recently, it has been commonly understood in the media world that in September 1945, GHQ, hereafter referred to as the United States, secretly issued the Press Code and Radio Code, consisting of 30 provisions, to Japan's mass media, shaping historical awareness. However, as can be seen in a 19-page article, the United States actually made it public in a Shinbun newspaper on October 1, 1945, that postal mail, telegrams, and telephone communications would be censored. Regarding the press code, while the prohibition on criticism of GHQ, the United States, the United Kingdom, China, and the Soviet Union may be difficult to justify but still understandable, the ban on criticism of Koreans, who were neither an allied nation nor a country, remains completely incomprehensible to this day. Other major prohibitions in the press code included criticism of the fact that the United States drafted the Constitution, mention of the censorship system, criticism of pre-war policies of the Allied nations, propaganda of Japan as a divine nation, justification and defense of war criminals, reports on interactions between occupation soldiers and Japanese women, including covering sexual assaults on Japanese women. These prohibitions were later published in 1990 in Jun Ito's book The Closed Linguistic Space, which became a major topic of discussion. However, the specific details of what kind of language and historical awareness the United States prohibited and censored remained a mystery. The concrete details of these prohibitions were revealed through the scripts of Shinso Bako, the Truth Box. In reality, as long as there was a script, textbook, edited by GHQ, there was no fear of punishment as long as one did not deviate from it. Let's take action this week. This week's Let's Take Action is Japan national team's key visual looks exactly like the South Korean flag. JFA faces massive backlash. The Japan Football Association, JFA, released a promotional image on November 10th for the Japan national team's The Best Scenery in 2026 campaign, and it instantly blew up online. The design, a white background with a red circle and blue elements, looks shockingly similar to South Korea's national flag, the Taegukgi. With a Korean entertainment company involved in the partnership, fans exploded in rage, shouting, "Don't tarnish the image of the Japan national team." The JFA claimed there was no intention behind it and changed the visual on November 14th, but the slow response has left everyone stunned and disgusted. How did the professionals fail to catch such an obvious mistake? This is outright incompetence. It's honestly hard to believe that not only politicians, but people with Korean ties have infiltrated the sports world, the judiciary, and the legislature as well. We can't stay silent anymore. Let's make our voices heard this week.